All right, it looks like we are live on our Play It Out Loud page and in our group. And it is just about 6 o'clock. I sound like an announcer. It's just about 6 o'clock, folks. Everybody settle in, gather around. We're about to start our challenge today. We are going to be interviewing our characters. Will they or will they not reveal our essence today? I don't know, but we're going to have them play it out loud and see what comes of it. There you go. There's my announcer's voice. All right. All right, so let's get started. It is 6 o'clock. I am recording, sound is on, and it is time. Again, welcome. So my name again is Dira Brown, and I am with Play It Out Loud. I'm the creator of Play It Out Loud because, and that name is all about tuning into what is inside of us, the experience that we're having, and expressing it creative and with enjoying the expression of it, and really owning it. Play it out loud and let it come through us. So to this whole 5 days, we are on day 3, and these whole 5 days are all about yes-anding ourselves. And so I am sharing 5 improv-inspired, transformational play moves that I have learned over the last decade or so. And these are ways that we can deeply listen to ourselves. These are ways that we can learn to accept whatever we are experiencing, whatever feelings, thoughts, and sensations we are having in the moment, and play with them. Like, you guys, I just love when I can add that filter, that ingredient, that like juicy creative dab of play to whatever I'm going through. And it can be particularly hard when playing with this post-it note here. I'm gonna get rid of that. It can be hard, challenging to add that layer of play, that feeling of playfulness to some experiences that we may have been challenged with in the past. Feelings like, how do I play with anger? How do I play with fear? What can I do to accept these feelings that we've labeled as either negative or uncomfortable? How can I accept and play with those in a way that genuinely feels fun? That genuinely, and like I'm stressing genuinely because I'm all about being authentic in that. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to cover over any feelings. I'm not a person that's going to fake it till you make it, over to the good side. That's just not me. So I'm here about radically to accept my feelings, and I'm here to show you, hopefully, to give you some practices that you can use to to get there, to add that play to whatever you're experiencing. So I am streaming live on my page and in our private Facebook group, Play It Out Loud, Transform Your Life Through Improv and Play. And I encourage you to share this video at any point, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it later. It is public, and so you can share it out and get more playmates to play with us during these 5 days. So we're halfway through. That's hard to believe. So give me a shout out in the comments. And let me know if you're here and you're excited to add play to your experience. You're excited to weave that in, to learn how to do that. The last couple days, and let me know where you're from too, like where you're calling in from. The last couple days that we have been exploring here, the first day we did explore and heighten. I'll give you a little bit of a recap. So explore and heighten was all about tuning in, listening to tuning into our thoughts, our feelings, and our sensations, and picking, one thing to begin with and making that bigger. So like right now, as I'm talking, I can notice like what my body is doing, and I can heighten that. I can make that bigger. And simply the simple move of heightening something uh, is a play move. It is, I think it's a foundational improv move as well, because, right, we're saying yes to something, and we're making just the slightest move in to enhance that, to just by making it bigger, by doing it more. The second day, yesterday, we explored whole body expressing. So often we are caught up in our heads and our thoughts, and we only use our voice or our words to express. And we're told from a pretty young age, use your words. Try and get that. Express yourself with just your words. um and don't, because if you use your body, then it's like, whoa, like, whoa, that's not appropriate, or that's over the top, or you're too much. And I'm encouraging you to go the other way, to shake it up, right? To make a new choice, and instead of using just words to express a story or an issue, or something, talk about something that you want to create in the world, use your whole body. All right, use your whole body. So your arms and your legs and your shoulders, and really emphasize like what your body is doing when you express. So those two are going to come in very handy for this next move that I'm going to show you. So today we're interviewing characters, and your ability to be able to use your whole body to express is going to help you get into character. I'll explain more about characters in a second. I want to give you a quote here by Gay Hendricks, who is a mentor of mine. Him and Katie Hendricks taught me all about body-centered therapy and body wisdom and intelligence. And he says, to claim your full birthright as a human being, you need to claim your ability to be with whatever is there. Otherwise, you are a human fleeing. Yeah, so to claim your full birthright as a human being, you need to be able to claim your ability to be with whatever is there. Otherwise, you're a human fleeing. And when I read that, I actually read it slightly different. It's like, otherwise, you are fleeing being human. And I'm here to experience being human. I'm here to experience what it's like to have, a body and move around, and be in this world of mass and energy and space. Like, what is that like? I'm here. I might as well find out. So I said today we are, I see, folks on, so definitely give me a shout out, like where you're from, and if you're excited to learn how to interview your own personal characters. I'd love to see who's on. Today we're interviewing characters, and I want to ask you, have you ever felt like somebody else was speaking for you? Like maybe you didn't recognize the person who was reacting to a situation, like something happened and then you got really reactive, and the way that you responded was like, who is this? Like, this isn't who I really am. Like, ugh. Or you were like, wow, that really sounded like my mother or my father, and ugh. Well, because it's like we're running a script, right? An old script or an old story over and over, and we're on autopilot when we're in these characters that are reacting or reactive. Another name that I'll throw out there that I use a lot is persona. So if you've ever had this happen to you, I I would suggest that maybe you're acting from a persona. So a persona is like a mask that we wear, rather than our true self, who we are in our essence, in our core. And the word persona actually means mask. Per means through, and sona means sound. And so it was the name of the masks that actors used to wear in order to project their sound to their audience. So they started wearing masks that represented their characters. And so, it's like my friend Christina likes to say, it's like we have our authentic selves, and these personas or characters are just playing dress up over top of who we really are. And the definition that I love by Dr. Gay and Katie Hendricks is a persona is a role that we learned when we were young, to get positive attention and to avoid pain. So, and it's like I said, it's distinguished from who we really are, who we are in our true selves. You know, so personas are going to show up. These characters are going to show up from time to time because we all needed to get attention. We all needed attention when we were young. I think attention is like, it's like air. It's like water. We need it. We need attention. Um, and at some point, we probably wanted to avoid pain. And these personas might have shown up. You might have noticed them as like a particular attitude, like I said, a way of reacting. A lot of times I hear them called like archetypes, roles that we play, or parts of ourselves is another word. There's lots of words and ways of approaching these characters. And, when a persona takes over and reruns a belief or an old story, you probably didn't feel like you could respond as creatively as you'd like. The personas, characters, personas, they view things in very much like black or white or either or. Like I can either be in this relationship and get this, or I have to leave. It's very, I always kind of, I often feel like I'm in, between a rock and a hard place when I'm in persona. I just really, my choices are very limited. And so if you ever felt like you were stuck in that kind of place of either or thinking, where you just didn't feel like you had a lot of options or could respond very creatively, it might be a persona. So I want, now that you have an idea of what a persona is, I would love for you to post in the chat, post in the comments section here, some personas that you might have experienced or that you have heard of. So, for example, like the good girl or the A+ student. Those are a couple. Or the bully or the rebel. Think of characters in movies, right? These roles that, they are these kind of stereotypical personas. Couldn't care less. Like immediately, like rolled my eyes. I used to do that a lot. I mean, I used to roll my eyes so often. Um, I was completely unconscious of it. And I had a persona running that reaction, just like, oh. It makes me kind of laugh now. Not that I never roll my eyes, but the amount of times that I would react through that character who rolls her eyes and just kind of sighs, was something else. So so make a list there in the comment section and let me know here. I'm gonna hop over on our tech here into our group and see if people are having trouble finding us. It looks like they are, so just give me a second here so I can get some more folks connected. All right, it looks like it is there in our group. Hopefully you're not having too much trouble finding it. I'm trying to, yeah, for some reason it's not letting me, oh, here we go. Let me, all right, technical delays here. I could feel my cheeks getting warmer as I feel the time stretching on and on. My persona of like, must keep going. I can't pause for any reason is taking over. But there, I want to make sure people can find us. So other examples of personas, like these are my actual personal characters that I've interviewed in the past, like indecisive doer. Perfectly processed is like the one in me who just is looking for like the perfect process to do, or practice to do to shift out of, an uncomfortable story or feeling. Um, I've interviewed angry cleaner, which is when I feel angry, instead of feeling my angry feelings, I go and clean the house. I get really clean house, but I don't get the satisfaction of actually shifting or feeling my feelings. So, why do you think we keep returning to these personas over and over again? Like, why, if if they're not very satisfying, maybe they're, for me, when I'm in personas, like, seems like I really want something, but I just can't get it. So, if I keep using the same strategy over and over again, and I'm not quite getting what I want, why would I keep doing that? And I'm just going to leave that question there for you to think about and put in the comments what you think, and we'll come back to it in a little bit. So, fortunately, playing with our personas, playing with our characters, gives them the attention that they really are desiring in a positive way, rather than like, oh my gosh, go away. Why do I keep acting like this? And it's a fun way, I think, to reveal our old stories and make space for the new ones to emerge. And my favorite way to interview these characters is through a process called the persona interview, which was created by the Hendricks, Gay and Katie. And this process has been tested and refined, like with hundreds of people and over decades of coaching. So it feels really efficient. You can do the interview in about 5 minutes or less. So I am going to give you a demonstration, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to actually invite you to try on your own persona, step into character, move like them, talk like them, after my example here. And then I'm going to ask you the questions and pause for you to answer them in character. You'll understand more after I do this example. So I would love to post the questions right here in chat, so that in the comment section, so that you can see them. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into character and then I'm going to ask myself these questions. And then I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer the questions from the character instead of like popping out and trying to ask myself and talking to myself, which I have done. What I'm going to do is you'll be able to see the questions there, and I will repeat part of the question so that you know which one I'm on. So like, what would you like to be called? And then I would say I would like to be called such and such, so you know which one I'm on. Because you can do this on your own. You can interview your own characters. You don't need a partner, although partner is handy. So let me make some room here. And I'm going to put that down for a second. All right. Make sure you can see me. All right, this character, this persona has been popping up for me. So I have not interviewed her. This is on the spot. So I'm going to take a moment to get into character, like take a big step into her. I mean, and just kind of express like if this is the way I have to do it, then I don't really want to. Like, forget it. I'm not gonna do it. No, I'm not gonna do it like this. I mean, I guess I have to do it like this, but I don't want to do it like this. If I have to do it like this is really the way I have to do it? Is this like really the only way that I have to do it? And so I could feel her. Okay. I'd like to be called Carry On. The most important thing to me is that I don't give up my responsibility. I don't. I said I was going to do it, so I'm doing it. What I'm most proud of, getting it done. I may be having no fun, but I'm getting it done. Like I said I would do it, so I'll do it. I made my first appearance. Probably around 12 when I started middle school, I guess. I learned my style from, I think I learned it from my mom. Yeah. I'm most afraid of failing. Yeah, I'm most afraid of failing. Giving up. I most want to let go. I want to let go of doing things that I don't want to do. Let go of doing things in a way that I don't want to do them. Yeah. Okay, and I'm going to step out of Carry On, like actually take a big step out of her and kind of just move and breathe and shake that off. Yeah, and so that's the process. I'm noticing that I surprise myself with the questions, which is always fun for me whenever I can surprise myself and discover something new. And I'm noticing this sense of like just space. It's like not a lot of thoughts and, uh, the treadmill of my mind is just not going and going and going. I feel calmer, and that like just acknowledging that, accepting that I want to I'm scared of failure, and I want to let go of doing things in ways that I don't enjoy. All right. So it's your turn now. So I invite you to stand up to do this so you can have access to your whole body so that you can express completely. And let me just check here a second, see if there's comments. All right. Before we get going, or any questions? Okay, great. So what I'm going to have you do is choose a persona, a character that you'd like to interview. It could be, something that you're really familiar with, in that it doesn't have to be like some of the examples I said. Maybe you have a good girl or a good boy, or you have a martyr, or um, the overworked mother, or the um, what is it, struggling artist. Maybe you have one of those that you want to try on, or maybe you simply have an issue or a way that you responded or reacted that feels familiar, that you just want to get into that place and then see where it takes you. All right, so I'm going to give you a minute to go ahead and step into your character. You can begin to speak out loud about whatever the issue was, or however you hear yourself speaking when you're in that persona. And just use your whole body to express. Really get into that space. Feel free to heighten it. Make it bigger, do it more. Go all the way with this. This is your time to express. How do you feel? What did you say? How do you move your body? Okay. All right. So hopefully you're there. You've gotten that. What would you like to be called? What would your persona like to be called? I'm talking directly to your character or your persona. What's the most important thing to you? What are you most proud of? When did you make your first appearance? When did you first appear? And who did you learn your style from? What are you most afraid of? Mm-hmm. And what do you most want? What do you most want? Now take a moment to take a big step out of that character, shed the clothes of that character, that persona, shake it off, take a deep breath, blow it all out. Or feelings came up, feel your feelings. You're in the comfort of your own home. Take a moment, be with those feelings. And, begin to just breathe and move in a way that feels really good. And thank yourself for, appreciate yourself for being willing to play full out with this. I'd love to hear what you've experienced. If whatever you're willing to share, did anything surprise you? Did any of your answers surprise you? What was there anything that was challenging about this? I'd love to hear. So go ahead and post in the comments or comments. And I want to come back to the question that I asked earlier. Why do you think we keep going back to reacting through our personas? Why do we keep employing them? What do you think that is all about? And for me, I think I don't know if I should prioritize or not, but the first thing that comes up for me is that they feel familiar, right? They feel familiar. They're safe. They might not feel all that safe because I can feel scared, but in a way it's a known, right? So it is safe. I know what's going to happen. It's the script. It's already written. So if I'm afraid of going into the unknown, of experiencing something new, a persona might kind of just sweep in and save me from that. And that's the other thing they do for me is they save me from my feelings, which is not something that is that I really want anymore. I don't want to be protected from my feelings. There was a time when I was, younger or at different times in my life, maybe a traumatic situation where I was unable to feel my feelings in that moment. And these, we can take on these roles, these personas to protect us from feeling our feelings. And so doing a practice like this in a place where we feel comfortable, where we feel safe to play and let go of control, or doing it, having somebody else ask you the questions, so that with somebody that you trust, is a really great way to kind of allow those feelings to bubble up so that you can feel that, so you can complete any any experience that was left incomplete. And I do think they worked to an extent when I first developed certain personas. They obviously worked, or they wouldn't have stuck around. There was something that got me kudos, that got me a reward. The A+ student, right? Doing all my homework, getting straight A's, got me a reward. I just made it, just got goosebumps because I was like, oh, it got me a reward. Doing things the way other people told me I should do them got me a reward. Duh, yes, of course. And so feeling like, not wanting to do things the way that other people do them, or not getting the joy out of that I really want, feels like I'll fail. I've equated that with failure. And so they work to some extent. They work to protect us from our feelings, to get us through a traumatic situation. They work to get us kudos, to get us job promotions, to get us, into that relationship. But at some point, they're not very satisfying, and they stop working. They stop, or our wants and our desires shift. And I think a lot of times personas are looking for, um, they're looking for getting our needs met from other people or outside of us, which makes sense because if they're developed when we're young, that's what we do. We need to get the attention from other folks, from our caregivers. And what I love about the persona is that when it leads me into the, oh, what do you most want, it kind of reconnects me with who I am, my authentic self. And I begin to realize I can be the one to give me what I really want, or I'm empowered to ask, um, for what I really want from the world or from somebody else. So I invite you today to take some time and identify, some of the external or internal rewards that you might frequently receive from acting through these personas, is a character, because it wouldn't still be around if you weren't getting something from it. Let's see if there's anything else. I think I covered all of it. Hmm. So far, all of the yes and yourself moves that I've shared only take between 2 and 5 minutes. That's how quickly, with some practice, that's how quickly you can accept and play with whatever you're experiencing and start feeling more ease and creativity. So I'm going to toss a Zoom meeting into the comments here. If you want to come in and chat with me about personas, maybe we can do a persona interview if you want to interview another one, and we can play some more. So it is in the comments now, showing up here. Yep. So I'm going to head over there. Again, thank you so much for joining me. And tomorrow we're going to be playing with space, which is super fun. We're going to be getting those issues, those problems, those thoughts out of our heads and into the space, and learning how to play with them and interact with them in new ways and let them go. So join us tomorrow. Again, it's going to be 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Savings Time. And I will be here on my page live. All right. See you then.